And you're live.
All right, hi. Dad, are you coming over?
Yeah.
Hi. Hello, everyone. My name is James Pino, and today I am very excited because this will be the first in a series of at least, or probably around 5 videos, where I get to go over my trip I recently took over spring break to Costa Rica. Yes, Costa Rica, a very amazing country to go to for biodiversity, and I basically got to spend a week there going bird watching, so I'm very excited to talk about that.
And I'm here too, but I'm going to hit a button and then I'll be back.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm very excited to talk about this trip because... So I have like a PowerPoint script, and now you're having me talk randomly. Okay. Well, script is a strong word.
So here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do auto transition. So there you go. There's your PowerPoint.
Oh,
you're
all right,
showing
yes.
me your PowerPoint.
Ignore, this is the title slide, but yes. So as we're talking about Costa Rica, as we're talking about, is a very cool place for nature. It has 5% of all the planet's biodiversity, about 5%. That includes 900 species of bird. There's 10,000 in the world, so almost a tenth of them can be found in this one country.
When on his first day, you saw.
We'll get there.
No, I'm just gonna say 20 new species in 18 minutes.
Well, no, that was day 2.
There's a surprise. That was day 2. Never mind.
Oh my
It was a lot of cool birds.
Yeah.
Anyway, spoilers.
Also,
spoilers.
While I didn't get to see it, you may recognize this bird if you've seen some of our previous podcasts. This is the 3-wattled bellbird, which we talked about on our Crazy Bird podcast. I unfortunately did not see one, but they are a species that can be found in Costa Rica.
And the wattles are like these, like on a turkey.
Yeah.
But on these birds, they're like really narrow and thin.
And there's 3 of them in weird positions.
Yeah, they look almost like a thick hair or something.
Yeah.
But they're a little sound modifier thing.
Or they might just be for display.
Oh, okay.
I think it was like both or something.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah.
Okay.
So anyway,
get these out of your way
the
here.
reason that we can see all these species is because roughly 25% of the country is national parks.
Yeah.
Costa Rica is very big on its nature, not only for ecotourism, but also just to preserve its nature. And in doing so, it is illegal to feed, capture, or kill any wild animal. Just period.
Don't feed them.
Don't feed them.
No peanuts. No. Nothing. No nanners.
Yes. But going on to my trip, we can see some photos here of just the landscapes. So I was expecting to see some birds on this trip. Obviously, there's 900 species. But the first day, like 20 to 30 minutes on the hotel balcony, I heard and saw 8 new species of bird.
Yeah.
In about
it's like, when he says 8 new species,
minutes.
so species of bird that you have never seen in the wild before.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them never seen before.
Yes.
But at least, but more specifically, never seen in the wild before, ever, anywhere in all of his travels.
Some of them include very interesting birds, like the crimson-fronted parakeets, which kind of reminded me of your parakeet at home.
This proves my bird is wild at heart.
And then I even saw a crested caracara fly by, which are really cool, like large ground-based falcons.
Oh.
So, yeah, very cool stuff. But, so we started in San Jose, the capital, because we landed like 8 p.m. the night before, so we probably got the hotel around 10.
And it's same time zone
same
as
time.
Central.
It's actually like basically dead south of us.
Yeah, it's almost straight. So we're in Illinois, south of Chicago. Straight south. So same time zone, different hemisphere.
No, it's still
in northern hemisphere. That's true.
The equator's in Ecuador, where I did my other trip.
Yeah. So much closer to the equator, right?
But yes, it's in Central America. It's right between Guatemala and Panama.
Okay.
So it's the southern Central America.
Yeah, so it's pretty far north of. Sorry, it's not in the southern hemisphere. That was.
But yeah, so we started in San Jose, the capital, which is in the mountains. You can kind of see more mountainous terrain. You can see mountains in the second photo. Mm-hmm. And then that day, we went through this city a little bit. I saw a couple of the new birds. I also saw a lot of pigeons. Some of them were new species, but some of them were just the default pigeon. The rock dove. That's
just the New York pigeon.
Yeah.
You're talking to me.
Well, the thing is that they're actually from Eurasia, and they've been introduced, but they live so well in cities because they're used to nesting on cliffs that they've spread to basically every major city on the entire planet.
Yeah.
So, and then we drove through the countryside, saw some new birds, and then eventually we got to the Arenal region, which you can see here. I got a really cool photo of the Arenal volcano. You can just see the top, which is actually really rare because it's like, let's see, it's 5,358 feet tall. So you sometimes can't see the tip.
And it is referred to as an active volcano.
Yes.
But there wasn't lava spewing down the sides.
The last eruption happened in 1968.
Okay.
And I'll talk about that more on the third day.
Okay.
Because we go around the lake, which is a whole thing. But yes, last
but
time...
But it technically is active in that it's open. It's not, like, sealed off.
And, it could erupt again. It probably won't for a long time. And there's so many sensors, they would know about it long ahead of time.
Yeah.
But yes, it is still an active volcano. You can actually see... You see how there's, like, 2 peaks on it?
Yeah.
That second minor peak was created during the eruption because it was such a large eruption. It actually created a second peak for the
peak.
Yeah.
So if you were to walk up to the top of it, it would be hot. You could feel the heat coming out of it.
Actually.
I'm assuming because it's not closed off is effectively what they're saying. So you would... I mean, I'm not saying you'd melt. I'm just saying it would be warmer.
I'm assuming probably.
Probably why it's not snow-capped.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah.
Anyway, but it's surrounded by rainforest, so yes, I got to spend some of the day in the rainforest.
Mm-hmm.
But before we even got to the first major place of walking, like we did one hike that day near the base of the volcano. Off the side of the road, a bus driver spotted something. And that would be, the brown-throated sloth. Now, this was actually really cool because apparently some groups never see a sloth on their trip. Unfortunately... Some geniuses down there have decided that instead of just finding the sloths, they don't move that much. Yes, they move.
Yeah.
But
once you find one, he's going to be there for a while.
Yeah. Or at least in a nearby tree.
Yeah.
They decide to capture them illegally, as I said, any capture is illegal, and put them on roadside sloth sanctuaries. So, yeah, that's kind of sad. But we saw a lot of sloths on our trip, so we were very lucky. The one picture, there's 2 images here. The one closest to the text is the Wikipedia image, because as you can see, the image next to it is an image of another sloth we saw that night with a baby.
And if you look, so there's a couple things going on in this picture. Mm-hmm. First of all, notice his top half, you can really tell is kind of green.
Especially in my image, specifically.
Yeah, really kind of green. And that is moss that grows on them.
Yes.
And that serves a particular purpose? Or...
Camouflage, and also just they're slow, it just grows there.
It just grows there. But it doesn't protect them from insects or anything?
No, they actually like insects. So there's a species of moth called the sloth moth, which only lives in the fur of sloths.
Oh.
And what they do is they live in there, and then every time the sloth goes down to poo once a week, the moths can lay their eggs in it, and then the sloth moth babies will hatch and then fly off to
find other sloths.
Find other sloths, yeah.
So really, they're just waiting for the sloth to do his weekly expulsion.
Yeah.
And that's where they propagate.
But yeah, so these sloths are themselves an ecosystem.
Okay.
And something very interesting I noticed is... If you look at the real image I got, there's a lot of moss on it. There's multiple, coffee brands in Costa Rica. And just other things where, each type of coffee would have a different animal on it. It's very interesting. I should have put this in the slide, but whatever. Every single bag had a real image of an animal on it. Except the sloth was fake.
Yeah.
Because apparently the mossy sloths are too disgusting.
Yeah, people don't like the moss on them. Maybe they didn't. Maybe they thought that would turn them off, like the coffee would have moss or fungus.
Even though it has literally nothing to do with the sloth whatsoever. Yeah, but it's kind of sad. But I saw advertisements for those sanctuaries I was talking about that you should not go to.
Yeah.
We were lucky because we saw a lot of them in the wild. But anyway, yes. So this is specifically the brown-throated sloth, and here I have a plush my dad got me from Italy, by the way.
Yeah, this is from Rome.
Even though it is just the Wild Republic sloth brand, which is a brand we have a lot in the States.
He had to come home with us.
Yeah. But yeah, so this is the sloth that, if you think of a sloth, you probably think of this one.
Yeah.
3-toed sloth.
Yeah.
He's saying hi.
As opposed to 2-toed?
Yes, which we will cover next podcast, because I also actually did see some 2-toed sloths.
Oh.
I saw 4 3-toed sloths and 2 2-toed sloths.
Nice.
Technically 3 adults, and this one had a baby. My teachers went out at night with the tour guide, because one of them was really excited to see sloths, and actually saw the baby out and about, but yeah. So, sloths in the class Mammalia, they're mammals. Mm-hmm. Order Pilosea, which they share with anteaters.
Oh.
And then family Bradapodidae, which is sloths. Or I believe, sloths.
So share with any, but they don't really eat insects. They eat leaves.
They eat leaves, yes.
Leaves. Okay.
And then their length, 1'5" to 2'7". So this is small for a sloth. No, he's about the right size.
He could be on the smaller side,
Yeah.
but he's.
They can weigh anywhere from 5 to 13.9 pounds. So definitely heavier than this guy. They're folivores. And obviously, I'm not going to write this down for all these animals. I saw them all in the rainforest, so I didn't bother writing that down. But these guys can also be found in dry forests, swamps, and mangroves. So basically, places with trees.
Yeah, and they're up in tree safety.
Yes,
and
camouflage.
And camouflage.
You know, in Costa Rica, well, besides the humans,
Yeah.
the only thing that could really hunt them is the harpy eagle, which for the most part, unfortunately, is locally extinct. Well, not unfortunately for the sloth.
Fortunately, unfortunately.
Yeah. But they are starting to make a comeback. So hopefully, maybe by the next time I go down there, because me and my parents want to go someday, maybe harpy eagles will come back.
That is, you know what I think about? I mean, harpy eagles are not small.
No, harpy
animals.
eagles are large animals.
So getting at a sloth, it's like, I would guess the only reason they can get to the sloth is because the sloth isn't real fast. Because they kind of have to get into the tree and maneuver around and get. It's not like they can swoop through like a Cooper's hawk. Because they're just too big.
Yeah, and then the scientific name is Bradypus vagriatus. So the brown-throated sloth.
Brown-throated vagrant.
Okay. Next, however, I was very surprised to see this and very happy to see this.
Okay.
So the next mammal we're going to discuss is the white-nosed coati.
Oh, yeah.
These are very interesting little mammals. So, here we are, the white-nosed coati.
White-nosed coati.
So, scientific name, Nasua narica. Yeah. So there's there's 4 species of coati, but the 2 most famous and more closely related are this one from Central America, and then the other species is from South America, the South American coati.
In the actual other hemisphere.
Yeah. Well, not completely, but yes.
Well, close.
Yeah.
Did we just never cross the line? The only time you crossed the line was when you were checking to see which way the toilet spun.
Well, actually, I was coming from the south.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, white-nosed coati, Mammalia, order Carnivora, which is most carnivorous mammals, and then family Procynonidae, which includes raccoons. So they are not raccoons, but they are actually quite closely related to raccoons.
Okay.
And fill a similar ecological niche to raccoons. Even though these guys will actually pollinate. I was doing some research.
Oh.
And apparently, balsa trees have flowers that they will use for hydration and nutrient in trying times, and then that also pollinates. And not necessarily trying times, but it does help in trying times. Huh. Which makes sense, because they also can live in the dry forest, which is more like a wet and dry season. And then also along rivers, in mountain and urban environments, and even in scrubland, again. So coatis can live in some harsher environments.
But so they live kind of isolated, like raccoons by themselves.
I saw a pair of them.
Well, but I'm not in like big communities or anything.
No, but they will be in small groups sometimes. We did see a pair run across the road. However, the one we really encountered was in the parking lot, because they are omnivores.
Okay.
So they actually they kind of are like raccoons in
like
that
a raccoon
sense.
or a bear. They just kind of
And
whatever's available.
so I actually have a video of the one that came up to us. So we can watch that real quick, and I'll discuss it. Okay. I think I have it muted, but I say...
I don't think I'm sending the audio.
That's fine.
From this, I don't think.
Okay. Well, anyway, so here's a coati.
Okay.
I said in the video it's like some ancient lineage of mammals. It's not. They're pretty recent. They were used in Walking with Dinosaurs to fill in for a mammal.
Yeah.
But you can see how close this is getting.
Yeah, they're pretty confident in that area. They're used to people, probably.
Which, also, I mean, they're not that small. I think they're a little bigger than raccoons because 3'6" in length and then 8.8 to 13.2 pounds. So they're not small.
So this is way small.
Yeah.
I mean, they're...
But the thing is that most animals will mind their own business, as most did on the trip.
Yeah.
However, these guys have learned that we have food, and these are smaller mammals, so they'll come up to us. You don't feed them; it's illegal in Costa Rica. But in general, you don't feed them. You don't touch them.
Just you don't want to encourage interaction.
Because also, I mean, they're like they have teeth and stuff.
They have teeth.
Yeah, they can bite you. They can scratch you. They're not complete. They're wild animals.
Yeah.
So it's safer for them, so they don't get used to humans and then go up to someone who wouldn't be nice to them. And then it's safer for you because you never know what they're going to do.
And also, you may be feeding them something that's not particularly
Yes, most human food's not good for them. Yeah. However, and this was right before we did the hike. We went up to the volcano, well, like near-ish it. Yeah. It's a very steep okay. There's just nowhere to walk.
Yeah.
It's not dangerous. It's just there's nowhere to walk.
Yeah.
We did see some cool things like leaf cutter ants, which was really cool,
Oh, yeah,
and things like that. But the coolest thing we saw when we got there was none other than a Central American eyelash pit viper. This is way bigger than the real snake, by the way. So
Yeah, they're like really tiny.
the real snake, we saw.
But this is a pretty good coloring.
Yes, that coloring's accurate.
coloring, yeah.
But the real snake is, I think the one we saw was on the smaller end. And yeah, they get from 1 foot 10 inches to 2 foot 8 inches.
So maybe not this big either.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I mean, like, you could hold it in your
can
hand.
see, yeah.
I wouldn't, because they are venomous snakes.
But the whole thing could curl up on your hand.
Yes.
Like this. Yeah.
So they are snakes, specifically a viper. Obviously,
Yeah.
they're family Viperidae.
And he's got eyelashes.
Yes, of scales, but yes.
Scales, yeah.
And so these are small, so Boryctheus nigroaspersus. There's a bunch of different species. This is the most famous one. It's from Central America.
Yeah.
Because if you think of an eyelash viper, you think of the yellow one.
Yeah.
There is another species we'll discuss on day 3.
Okay.
Or even just like a different eyelash, or just palm pit viper, because these are also known as Central American eyelash palm pit vipers. But
Okay.
I think because they're sometimes found in palm trees.
Keep going.
Yeah. But anyway, so yes, they can go into urban areas as well, which is why at the hotel we had to use the second hotel, which was mostly outside. It was like a bunch of little house buildings in the rainforest. With that, we had to use flashlights outside because there could be snakes, and we didn't want to step on them and either hurt them or have them bite us. Not that they would actively do that. It would just be like, someone accidentally steps on something. So, yeah, that's why we specifically had to use flashlights. But, again, like this snake, it was right off the trail. Don't get too close to it. It minded its own business. It literally sat there. It didn't move a millimeter the entire time we were there. So, but I was very surprised that we got to see one of these. They're a very pretty snake. They camouflage into the jungle, and because they're yellow, it looks like a fruit or something. But it was still very cool to see one of these in the wild. So yeah, and then we even saw a white-throated magpie jay, which is kind of like our blue jays. It looks vaguely similar, same coloration. But yeah, and then on the way back, I saw some new species of birds. I even got a glimpse of the chestnut-mandibled toucan. So, I got a lot better looks on this of day 2 and 3, with this photo being from day 3. But I wanted to have 5 animals that we focus on a day, like normal podcasts. So I pushed this guy to discuss on day 1.
He's really pretty. First of all, though, he's really pretty just as a model.
Well, so yeah, this is specifically the subspecies of yellow-throated toucan, known as chestnut-mandibled toucan, because the lower coloration, and you see on the photo, is a bit more...
Chestnut colored.
Chestnut colored, yes.
And so actually, if you look, this little model...
Are they seeing both? How?
Yeah.
Oh, I see it. Okay, sorry.
So even though he's made of wood, he is kind of accurately
Actually,
colored.
yeah. I mean, this would be black down
Right,
here, but
but
this
I mean-
is actually the right chestnut
Yes,
color. I wouldn't
yeah.
be surprised if this is chestnut wood.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
And then I have my toucan, you got me.
That's not a toucan, that's a macaw.
I'm a call, sorry.
And, yeah. But yeah, so this is Ramphasos ambiguus swansoni, which this is the chestnut mandible subspecies. There's some more southern subspecies that have more of like a black mandible instead of a chestnut mandible. It's really funny because like you never hear these referred to as mandibles outside of this specific name. But yeah, so Avis class order Piciformes, which is interesting because the other type of bird in that order is woodpeckers.
Oh.
Toucans and woodpeckers are actually very closely related.
Oh, okay.
And not hornbills, which
Okay.
are different, like other continents. That's convergent evolution,
Okay.
where they evolved very similar structures to eat fruit, as they're frugivores.
Okay.
I did see them eating some fruit, but I want to talk about that more on day 3, because I also saw then the other species of toucan, which is slightly smaller than this, and we'll talk about that day. I know, lots of... See you next
Yeah.
time.
Yep, see you next time.
Yeah.
Tune in.
Big brain. Anyway, yes, but these are the largest toucan that here in Costa Rica of the 2 species. 1 foot 7 to 2 foot long, and weigh 1.3 to 1.6 pounds, which for a bird, that's pretty hefty. Rainforest, obviously, and also river, montane, and urban environments. And some of the fruits they'll eat includes cocopia fruit, which is like the McDonald's of the rainforest. That's why I saw so many birds there. And this
McDonald's in that it's prevalent, not that it's bad for them.
No, it's great for them.
It's great.
Yeah, and then you can actually, the picture I have from day 3 there is actually one in a cocopia tree.
Okay.
And then also, they actually eat cocoa pods, which is what used to make chocolate.
Oh.
So, yes, they will eat chocolate fruit, which in that state tastes nothing like chocolate. But
Well, because it's in its raw form.
And
yeah.
the chocolate comes from the nut, the seeds, not the fruit itself.
Yeah.
The fruit tastes nothing like it. I have a video with their calls, but the audio's not connected. It's literally just like, beep.
Oh, wait, I can turn on the audio. Hang on a second.
Also, the video's way better than this. I don't know why. When I transferred it from my phone to my computer, the exposure, like, nuked itself.
Okay,
So,
good.
just
Good.
listen to it. Don't. It's kind of hard to hear, even in the video.
Yeah, well.
But it's just like, look up the call. But it was cool. I saw, this was the end of day 2, where, because the one on day 1, I couldn't really ID it for 100%. I knew it was a toucan.
Yeah.
But then I saw this pair calling from the hotel. This hotel is great. I'll talk a lot more about it on day 2 and 3. I even, like, for my first paper, I had to talk about a place. I talked about that hotel. I loved that place. The staff was awesome. I never took advantage of this, but one of the guys even offered to go bird watching with me. I just couldn't find the opportunity. But yeah, so it's cool. Also, I got this in Costa Rica. They had a lot of wooden figures, so if you see any more wooden figures during these podcasts, I most likely got it from Costa Rica. So that was cool. However, the last animal I want to discuss, to highlight this day 1, was something that you might actually know about. This is the cane toad.
Oh, the cane toad, mommy's favorite.
Yeah, so, this is, I got a really horrible picture of it, but I attached an actual image of it. What I saw was a young one.
Very tiny.
However,
like-
the real one is tied with the Hellbender for the 5th largest modern amphibian.
Yeah, aren't they like
Yeah.
that big?
They can weigh 4 to 6 pounds.
Like this big.
Yeah, 4 to 6 pounds. Oh, sorry. 4 to 6 inches, 2 pounds. 2 pounds.
Yeah.
Still big, though.
But, yeah.
2 pounds is big for a toad.
Yeah.
Amphibia, Anura, and then Anura is frogs and toads, and then Bofanidae is toads. I forgot the books again. Darn.
Oh.
I brought all these books, and I keep forgetting I have them. But yeah, cane toad was like page 2. Oh, it's like right here. There we go.
Okay. So what we're looking at here is the
Book of
Tim
Frogs.
Halliday, The Book of Frogs, a life-size guide. That's the cover there.
Oh yeah, so this is life size then.
Yeah, so that's life-size there. If you look.
Here's my hand.
Yeah, and there's his hand, yeah.
Yeah, so big toad.
Yeah.
The one I saw was not this big. It was not that big. It was I think a juvenile.
This is probably a life-size picture. That's probably him.
Nope,
No,
that's
it's
not
not him.
him.
Okay.
You're bad at frog ID. You're fired. No, okay.
Fired.
So they'll eat small animals and stuff, and that's probably the reason they're invasive species where they're not native. They're introduced to Australia, and they have poison in these little throat, neck,
Glands.
sac glands, yeah, that they can expel. So they actually kill a lot of animals, and they're invasive in Australia. Over time, they're working on it. It's still not a great outlook, but some animals are slowly growing resistant to their venom, poison because you eat it.
Poison because you eat it.
Yeah.
Toxin would be injected, like.
No, venom
would be injected.
Toxin,
Venom
I
would
think
be
it's just both. I have no idea.
I don't know
Anyway,
toxin. Venom's injected. Poison
But
you have to
it was
ingest.
cool because here they're native. And not only do they live in rainforests, they also live in deciduous forests, mangroves, on islands, and in urban environments. So they're native to like Central America, Caribbean, Southern North America, things like
Yeah,
that.
pay no attention to me when it comes to geography.
Yeah.
Follow him. I just, yeah.
But yeah.
Illinois is somewhere up top cold. That's all. That's
Yeah.
as good as I get
So
geography.
overall, that was my first day. We also visited hot springs, but there's no animals, so I'm not telling you about it. Too bad. It was a hot spring. It was
was a
nice.
hot spring,
I don't
yeah.
know. Also, it was just a pool. Like, they used the geothermal, but it was just a pool, like a cement pond.
Mm-hmm.
It was not like, I thought we were going to be like in a hole in a volcano.
Yeah.
That's not what we were in. It was still cool, but, well, I actually like the cooler pools better. But I'm used to Springbank here, where the pool is like -2 degrees.
In Illinois. So
Yeah.
do the weather math.
It's really cold. Anyway, yeah, so, yeah.
So here we should go over some resources. So
Yeah.
the Tim Halliday book, The Book of Frogs Life Size is a really nice resource. A, because everything's kind of life size, so you get a
And B, it
perspective on
covers
it.
all the frogs.
All the
of
frogs. Then the Book of Snakes, a life-size guide to 600 species, second edition.
Different author, but same publisher. So I think there's
Same kind of layout and
Yeah, let me find the eyelash viper.
okay. So
Remember, so kids, if you don't know how to use a book because you've been on your iPad, there's these things called indexes in the back of the book. And what you do is, so I'm looking, and this one has scientific names and common names. I'll do common names. So is this one known as Central American? Central American? No. Okay, so actually, I'll do scientific name then because I don't know exactly what common name they're using. So BOTH. One of these. Okay, 557. Close. Oh, here we go.
There you go.
This is not the exact species. This is a very closely related species.
So there. Eyelash viper.
Yeah, so that's...
So, but a lot of good information.
Okay.
These books as resources, a lot of good information.
Yeah, this is the more South American
American one.
subspecies. And this one is a little less yellow. It has more like spots and stuff. But yeah, it's basically the same thing.
But as a resource, so this is another good one. And then I think we've shown these before.
But they're
all the mammals of the world
Yes.
by Lynx, and all the birds of the world by Lynx. Really good resource, a lot of information.
There's more expensive like encyclopedias that's actually go into more like information. But we are normal people with a normal budget, so we just got the versions with the animals and still some important statistics.
The nice thing about these as reference books is as you're looking through them, the pages and pictures near and around them, there's a logic and reason. So it kind of helps you explore a little more than just finding out one thing. It helps you kind of take in the greater picture.
Okay, so let me find...
And did you think that these were pretty good resources?
Oh, yeah, they're nice.
These worked out. So this is the second
I didn't
edition.
use them on the trip because I forgot
Just
them.
not carrying them around. But the second edition, The Birds of Costa Rica, that was a really nice little resource.
It's a good field guide. Yeah. It's a good
field
standard bird field guide.
And then the Pocket Naturalist's Guide. So this might be easier if you're going to be traveling around to take with you.
Honestly, that book's not too big, but yeah.
Yeah, these aren't. None of these are. That's me.
Where's the raccoon? Where are you? Oh, they're at the very, very back. Okay. So,
Oh, the coatis.
we saw the white-nosed coati.
Okay, so here, I'll hold this up. White-nosed coati.
Just right there.
Okay.
And these two. This is the closest related South American coati. And then these are the other two coatis in a separate genus. The mount... Or is there only one? Oh, well, there's the mountain coati.
See, but again, the beauty of a book.
Oh, yeah, there's two subspecies. Okay. Oh, maybe that's a... the big... Whatever, yeah.
So the beauty of a book is you get that bigger picture of the species.
Yeah, and
the
you
animal.
can see the raccoons that they're related to, and the kinkajou, which I didn't see, but you can see kinkajou. Yeah.
So that's the whole on my thing. The book.
This is your department. I love books, but you're the real book guy.
The book guy.
Also, yeah, like most of the mammals in Costa Rica, I think there's like 100 species, and like 60 are bats. By the way.
Oh.
So yeah, I did see bats. I won't really talk about them because I don't have figures. Maybe I think I plan my Facebook posts to go more into the species I don't have figures of.
Yeah.
So or LinkedIn posts is what you guys.
Yeah, and if you follow him on his LinkedIn,
I'll-
did you put your days on LinkedIn as well as Facebook?
Just no, but I'm going to do more posts.
So if you look in the
because
description of the YouTube,
on the trip I was kind of just typing them, and
Yeah.
there's no autocorrect on my iPad, so the spelling was.
So
kind of
if you in the description of this video, I always put his LinkedIn. If you follow that, he will. First of all, this video will end up out there, but also he puts ongoing posts when he's not traveling the world. But he will go back and post about these.
Yeah,
days that he
and
was
then
in
I'll
Costa
start
Rica.
going back. Maybe I'll finally actually get started and actually commit to a series that I want to do.
Yeah.
All right, here's the sloth. So there's 6 species of sloth. I saw the brown-throated sloth right here. And then I also saw this species of sloth, which we'll talk about next time, one of the two-toed sloths. So yeah.
Okay.
And finally, let's do the Big Bird book.
The Big Bird.
which I totally did not drop one time and break the cover off, and my mom had to fix, but she fixed it amazingly, and you can't tell, so you don't know what happened. Why did I say it then? We'll never know. All right, toucans.
Not like it's recorded for posterity now.
So I have to tell the truth, okay? It's one of my...
It's fine.
One of my great flaws.
They are resilient. We have books that are...
You have some old books.
From the 1600s, 1700s.
There's actually one, I think the Latin dictionary is from the 1500s.
Oh, yeah, then the Latin dictionary from the 1500s, yeah.
Did that help me in the class? I'm going to be honest. No, but it was cool. Okay,
what are we looking for?
Toucans and woodpeckers.
This is also kind of nice. His books and guides and this book, that when you're looking for a particular bird you're trying to identify visually, because of the way the books are arranged, you can kind of get to a point where you go, oh, it kind of looked like this, and then go through the different birds visually to find the one you're looking for.
Oh yeah, these guys are crazy. They're like Pikachu woodpeckers. Sorry, that's another podcast if I ever get a toy of that or something. Nope. Oh, here we go. All right. Probably this page. There we go. Okay. So this one.
So see, visually, he was just able to find what he was looking for.
This is the yellow-throated toucan. I specifically saw this subspecies. You can see with the chestnut mandible. You can see the others are more have a black. But yeah.
And a little bit. Okay, so today, let's if people are still hanging in there, a couple minutes on the trip was worth it.
Oh,
you saw
easy.
A lot of species.
Yeah.
Travel was easy. Accommodations were easy. Your guide was very good. Overall, you can take a really nice trip, guided, see a lot of things in Costa Rica.
Yeah.
You don't speak a lot of Spanish or anything.
No,
so
I don't speak any Spanish.
So it was fine. Most transactions, U.S. funds, credit card.
Yes, they do have a money, but you can usually use credit card.
Usually use American.
You can even usually use American cash, but we did bring some. Colonials,
and it was one plane there, 8-hour flight.
Five. 4.5. Not 8. 4.5.
What was I thinking? 8. I don't know. Anyway, 4.5-hour flight there.
This guy's.
So easy travel, easy. It was a nice. It's not a complicated or situation. It was very easy, enjoyable group. It went very well. So just something
we did use like an education, more school-based tour group.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we did lots of things. Things I won't talk about as much that we did do were things like a chocolate tour and a coffee tour. We went to a beach, which I was looking at crabs and birds, but we did go to a beach.
And a pretty region.
Yes, the first day was like mountains to rainforest, and then the second day we also saw like a river. Third day was rainforest to cloud forest, which is like a high, colder rainforest. Then we stayed there for a while, and then went down to the dry forest coast, and then went to like the beach, and then we went back to the city before we left. So yeah, lots of different environments too.
So from a nature perspective, from a culture perspective, from realistically from a cost perspective and a travel perspective, what you experience, worth doing.
Be careful. There are some more touristy
that's anywhere. Everybody's got tourist traps.
And also they'll tell you there's crime. Don't go out at night in like the big city, and you're probably fine.
That applies here as well.
That applies here as well. Yeah, it's really not that different. Yeah.
Same rules. House rules.
House rules. Yeah. Also, I haven't said this yet on the podcast. In total, I saw 100 new species of bird on the trip.
Yeah.
And then I saw.
So if you're into birds, it's an amazing location.
I was not doing anything specifically for birding.
Right.
We went on river tours and hikes and rainforest and cloud forest and beaches and stuff. But, like, those were almost none of them were never specifically about birds.
Right.
Like, one of the river tours was about crocodiles. Another was, like, anything there.
Right.
Another, and, like, the night walk was, like, we were lucky and saw some birds, but usually you're seeing more reptiles and insects and stuff.
Being rainforest, a lot of biodiversity.
Yes.
Particularly
like I said,
birds.
Costa Rica has 5% of the world's biodiversity.
Yeah.
And just under 1/10 of all bird species can be found there.
Yeah. So anybody interested in birds, which is why I think definitely you'll get back there at some point.
Yeah.
I can't see you not going back there.
Yeah. I think it was Galapagos, I think, was a more important trip for me. It was the first one. It was the harder one with 8 flights. Oh, my Lord.
That's what I was thinking of, 8.
Yeah, but 8 flights, not hours. But, like, Galapagos is, like, that, like, where evolution was first described. Like, one of the major places, so unique, the island diversity, just some crazy unique animals there, like the tortoises and
It's
stuff.
significant for very specific reasons.
Yes.
As opposed to Costa Rica is just in general.
A lot of other.
Yeah.
Also, I think I had more fun on the Costa Rica trip.
That could have had to do with the crew you traveled with. Not to
Yeah.
say it's not a great
No,
trip. Just
yeah.
a
Again,
lot of-
no. The Galapagos trip was great.
Yeah.
I mean, up until this trip, it was the best experience of my life.
Right.
I would say that the Costa Rica trip was the best experience of my life.
Out of the two.
Yes. But I mean, there's other things like I'm not sure a tour guide was as good on the Galapagos
Well,
trip.
and this one being that your specific interest leans more towards birds.
Yeah.
And that you were able to see so many, I'm sure, impacts.
Yeah,
your
like yes, I
perspective
saw
on
like
it.
24 new birds on the Ecuador trip.
Yeah.
Didn't see the Andean cock of the rock, which I found a figure of in Costa Rica. I was so excited. I've been looking for one of those for years. So yes, I will at some point on this podcast channel talk about the cocks of the rocks. That will be. I'm wondering if after Costa Rica we might want to do favorite animals of like me and you and stuff.
just our
and
favorites. So
just an excuse for us to talk about cool animals.
that's right.
So,
Every
yeah.
any excuse to talk about cool animals. That's where we're at.
And trip's a cool excuse for me to get animals. So yeah.
So that was day one, and of course, day one, you know, kind of settling in, arriving. So many more.
And there was
animals to come.
there was a couple hours of driving too.
Yeah.
So,
So this was probably for as eventful as that day was.
yes.
Nothing in comparison to the next few days.
No, day 2 specifically was crazy.
Yeah.
This one picture will mean a lot more when we talk about day 2.
Talk about day 2.
That one view was insane. Like you have no idea what happened. But yes, day 2 will be absolutely insane. I had to pick 5 animals for
Right.
day 2, and
Right.
yeah, it was crazy. So yeah, hope you come back to see that one. Hopefully we do it next weekend.
Yeah.
So,
Timing
yeah.
permitting. So
Yeah.
All right.
All right, thanks for watching.
Thank you.
I'll have to
and-
send this to my Costa Rica group.